Chaos Walking stars Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley as Todd and Viola, two unlikely companions who embark on a perilous adventure through the badlands of an unexplored planet as they try to escape a dangerous and disorienting reality where all inner thoughts are seen and heard by everyone. Directed by Doug Liman, this is based on the sci-fi novel trilogy of the same name, specifically adapting the first book called The Knife of Never Letting Go. This was especially noteworthy for being in production for years. I remember hearing about this one as far back as 2018 when it was originally going to be released, though it underwent reshoots in 2019 and was still shelved for another 2 years. And considering it didn't fare well critically or commercially, I don't think we're getting the rest of that trilogy adapted. I will say, while the finished product isn't anything I'd want to revisit anytime soon, I don't think it was quite as bad as it was made out to be. I'd say it's certainly a bit more tolerable than Lyman's other film from this year, Locked Down, as well as Tom Holland's other movie from earlier this year, Cherry. Holland himself does give it his all here. It's a more nervous take on a Peter Parker type character, as he's someone who talks a lot but lacks self-confidence, but it works. He brings a lot of charisma to the role, making this film a lot more tolerable overall. As for everything else, I found it both intriguing and underwhelming at the same time. For a dystopian film set in the future where all these somewhat unique ideas are introduced, the unfortunate thing is, next to nothing's ever done with them. The dramatic beats themselves weren't so bad, but the fact that we're on this new planet called New World, yet we're only limited to a few small colonies, it would have been nice to explore more. It felt like we only scratched the surface of this world. On top of that, this is probably the result of the reshoots, but there were times where those beats felt incredibly rushed and poorly cobbled together. And I think this film could have used at least an extra 20 minutes or so to flesh everything out. And I don't think it would have disrupted the pacing, as I never once felt it to be slow. And as far as the rest of the cast, I just wish they didn't waste their A-level supporting talent, as well as Daisy Ridley herself, whose entire role is reduced to being mostly silent and or just reacting to everything around her. But even beyond her, you have Damian Bashir, Cynthia Erivo, David Oyelowo, and Mads Mikkelsen as your villain, most of whom get almost nothing to do. They give it their all here and try to inject some personality into these characters, but outside of Oyelowo, their roles were mostly reduced to exposition, and we learn very little about all of them. My main criticism, though, is regarding the noise, which is the inner thoughts of all the men being outwardly expressed through little colorful clouds around their heads. In the novel, I'm sure it works a lot better, but the way it's represented here, it's like an assault on all your senses. We'll get them at rapid-fire paces in every direction, and sometimes it's the same stuff over and over and over again, most notably Tom Holland repeating his name. The frustrating is, when it's utilized correctly, it's actually pretty cool. It's used for comedic effect at various points, and we see how characters can take their thoughts and use them to create hallucinations to trick others. But those moments are only seen like a handful of times, mainly in the second act. For much of the movie, though, it becomes grating, and it takes a very, very long time to get used to. Once it starts getting utilized for more creative purposes, you do begin to tolerate it a bit, but it becomes too little too late by that point to save the movie. Now, I surprisingly didn't hate this overall. I think it has more redeeming qualities than I was led to believe, but I still didn't think it was good overall, and I wouldn't call it anything that I'd recommend. Despite the talented cast and crew at the helm, this was a severely missed opportunity to give us something much more epic in scale. Chaos Walking gets a 5.5 out of 10. So, let me know, did you see Chaos Walking, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you wind up liking this one? Do you want to see the rest of this trilogy adapted? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone, and keep having fun with film.